guys, Katy Huller here with Kids Can Read and Write. Today I want to help you help your kids, or you if you need it, read words with the ity endings. And if you notice, there are going to be some big words. So if you're having trouble reading big words, or maybe your child's having trouble reading big words, this video is for you. Let's talk about how to make these easier. So, first of all, we're going to be reading the words with ity endings. That's when you see that ity at the end of a word. All right, now, the real trick in ity endings is this Y. And if you've seen my Y video, you'll know that Y, when it can't fit in the car, the three-seater car, when it can't fit in that middle or third seat, it looks over and it says, "Eee, that many people are coming? No, thanks." He doesn't like to get squished in. So if there's not a seat for him in that three-seater car, well, then he looks and says, "Eee, that many people are coming? No, thanks." If he could fit here or here, he would say, "I want to come, I want to come." Or sometimes it sounds like the short I sound, it. But in these words, you'll notice he cannot fit in that car. All three seats are full. So he's going to say E. Now, if you've been following my videos, you know that most trick endings will boss the vowel if they can reach it. They can only jump over one letter to get there. So if they can reach it, jump over one letter, they will typically boss the vowel. But that's why I put ity endings, because in the ity endings, you will not be saying the I's name most of the time. There are always exceptions to English rules, but typically this will not be bossing the I, and that's why I brought it to your attention today. So we want to say it, E, instead of it. Normally we would boss the vowel with ity endings. We typically just say itty. We do not make the I say its name. So just like I refuses to say his name before the tion endings, I refuses to say his name most of the time for the Y ending. Not all the time, most of the time. So remember, when we get to these endings, it's going to be it, E, itty. Okay, that's important. The other thing is, when you're struggling to read big words, it can be for a number of reasons. Some kids have visual processing issues. When they see this word, it looks so much like other words that have similar letters that those kids will just call out similar looking words. To get around that, we want to get kids looking at just one part, then the next part, then the next part, then the next part. We do not want them guessing. We have to get them to buy into, you start here, you watch for tricks, you find that vowel going past, break it, you look for your next part, find your vowel, go one past, break it, find your vowel, go one past. You can keep this together if you want to think of it as itty, or you can break it, because really it's just that Y not bossing the I, that's the trick, and the Y saying E, that many people are coming. So you can either keep it together, or you can split it, either way. But when you're helping your kids read these big words, number one thing, you must get them to look at part until they get to the end. And when I say until they get to the end, I say that because so many kids will start reading and then just say the rest of the word that they think it is without really checking out the rest of it. So if your child's having trouble with that, or maybe you're having trouble with that, you never really learned to read and you learn to kind of guess your way through words, well, remember, reading is a code. And if you know the code, you can actually sound out the words, but you have to know the code. You need letters, you have to recognize them, you have to know the sounds they make, you have to know tricks, you have to know how to blend those letter sounds tricks together. And then, you need to be able to adjust certain words that don't follow the rules. So all of that is required for reading. So let's look at this first word and just see how we would do that. If we're breaking it up, remember, we're not going to look right at it. We don't want to get it confused with other words. Let's see how it goes. So we're going to say s, and then E and the R say when they're together. So we go sir, sir. Then we make our E sound, and then we make the I sound, it, and then we make that Y trick sound, E. That many people are coming. Now, that may not sound like anything to some kids. They may have no idea what they just read. It's too many sounds, it's too confusing. If you have kids with auditory processing issues or poor phonemic awareness, you may experience a lot of trouble putting together multiple syllable words like this. They might just really have no idea. So there are a couple ways to get around that. You can put part 1 and part 2 together. You can go sir, sir, and sir, and just worry about those 2 parts to start. Then you can put 3 and 4 together. Itty, itty. Then you can put all of it together. Serenity, serenity, serenity. Okay? And then make sure, once your child hears it, make sure they also know what it means. And that's really important for comprehension later. A lot of kids can read the words, but if they don't know what they mean, then they're not going to understand what they're reading about. So make sure you're also helping your child grow their vocabulary. Or if it's you, make sure you know what the words mean. Because again, reading, it's something you do to understand things, right? You're reading messages. Those are things with meaning. And if you just read the words and never think about it, you're not really reading yet. So you need to be able to figure out the words. Then you need to be able to comprehend them or understand them. You need to be able to get the message that they're there to tell. So again, serenity, serenity. Now, as you get really good at reading, you should be able to go straight through. Serenity, serenity. But when your kids are first starting out, especially if they're struggling readers, just have them read one part, sir, then the next part, N, then the next part, it, then the last part, E. And then you can work on putting them together. And if your child's having auditory processing issues, don't be surprised if certain words take, 10 minutes to really get through when they're first learning how to put together all these syllables. I've seen, some kids blow through words and then all of a sudden they get to one that they can't hear it, takes 10 minutes. But you want to take that time and help them learn to map those sounds and figure out how to put them together. Because if you just tell them the word because it's long, well, you just told them that you're a good reader, but that they're not capable of doing it, or they're not worth the time spending on it, right? You need to keep in mind it's important for your kids, even if it's challenging, even if it's frustrating, to figure it out. And you can help guide them, but just don't tell them the answer. Give them the tools. Show them how to break these words up. One after the vowel, break it. One after the vowel, break it. Find the vowel, go one past, break it, right? Keep showing them how to do that so they know how to do it on their own. And then show them how to put two parts together, then the other two, then to put those together. And help train them. But don't do it for them. You want them to have the confidence, not you, right? And if you're telling them the answer, guess what's going to happen? When they're at school or on their own, they're going to know they can't do it on their own. They need help. Train them to do it on their own. Train them in a safe place. Be patient. Be kind. Let them have as many tries as they need to get that word. So once they read it, serenity, then make sure they know what it means. So serenity is kind of like the act of being peaceful, right? Serenity is a peaceful feeling. Kind of like, it comes from the word serene. So a serene place would be like a beautiful lake, a quiet, calm pond, right? Mountains, somewhere where it's very peaceful and serene. So serenity is that feeling of peacefulness that you get. All right, how about this word? Here's another big one. Now again, if your kids are used to just looking at words instead of through them, you might hear them come out with something else other than this word when they read it. Might start with in, might even start with int. They might look at this and go integer, right? Because they know that word starts the same way. Or they might come up with some international. I don't know what they'll say. But a lot of kids who don't go all the way through words from the beginning to the end up guess reading, just looking at a word and saying something that kind of looks similar, okay? So if your child is doing that, or if you are doing that, remember the key to reading is remembering that this is a code. These letters are telling you what to say, and it's your job to follow them all the way until you get to the end. So the easy way to break up words, if you need to break it to say it, is find your first vowel. What are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes a Y. So we're looking for those. Here's the I. We go one past, we break it. Here's the E. We go one past and break it. Here's another I. Go one past, break it, or leave this together if you want, up to you. Now we're ready to read it. All we have to worry about is this part. In. Notice I'm not saying in. I want to glue these letters together. The vowels are our glue, and whenever we get to a vowel, we should be gluing it on to that next sound. Don't stop, and don't let your kids stop between sounds. So we're going to go in, then we start this part. Egg, teg. Now we can put these two together, in, teg, and then we can do the last two. It, rit, e. Rit, e. Ritty. So if we remember the first two, in, teg, and then we remember the last two, rit, e, we can put them together. Integrity. Integrity. And we can start putting them together faster and faster as our brains allow. Okay? So if you're really good with the auditory, you might be able to just go integrity. Integrity. You might just hear it the first time. But a lot of kids with dyslexia and other issues don't have the memory for that, don't have the processing for that, don't have the phonemic awareness for that if they haven't been trained up in how to sound out words. So you might need to break this up. Integ, rit-e, integ, rit-e. And if they get it all jumbled up, which can happen, especially when you're first beginning, well, just slow it down. Slow and smooth leads to faster, okay? So take it slowly. If they forget what the first two parts are, just remind them. It's a code. It's okay to forget. Just read it again. In, and they might need to read this again. Teg, teg, in, teg. That's okay. Be patient. Don't say, oh, you just read that. You know that. Because if they have memory issues, they've already forgotten it, and that's okay. That's their brain, and you have to deal with it patiently, or you get them anxious and they'll want to quit on you and they won't want to do it. They might storm off, cry, rage, whatever. So be patient and just know some people don't remember it. One of the most common things I hear is, oh, you know that, you just did that. Or you read this word earlier today, you know it. No, that doesn't mean they know it. If they don't know it, they don't know it. Let them figure it out again. That's what your message should be. It's okay. If you forget it, it's okay. Try it again. It'll tell you again. Look, what's that part? And let them figure it out again. In. Don't make them just know that's in because they've read it before. That's not how dyslexic brains work. That's not how brains with memory issues or processing issues work. Let them refigure it out. They're usually good thinkers. So if they're not good rememberers, then let them think through it. In. That's what we want them to understand. You don't have to know it. You just have to read it. Okay? So in, egg, integ, rit, integrit, e. Integrit, e. And if they still can't get it, if they're still getting it all jumbled up, remember you can do the 1 and 2, integ, 3 and 4, rit-e, integ, rit-e, or you can bring your fingers into it. In, first one, teg, second, rit, third, e. In, teg, rit, e. And you can have them integ, e. You can have them kind of tap out the syllables so they know they're getting all 4. So if they go integ, e, that's typically, we'll see just a syllable get left out or some of the sounds just pop out somehow. Then go, oh no, look, watch. In, teg, what's this part? Rit, yep, don't forget your rit. E, in, teg, rit, e. Right? You got to help them through it, help them see how many parts, and help them hear, oh, your R and I got left out. Or, oh, your T got left out. You know, whatever's getting left out, have them go back and start it again, part by part. And please don't tell them, oh, you know that, you already read it. Like, they might not. If they have memory issues, let them refigure it out without stress. Don't make them feel bad about forgetting it. Don't huff, don't puff yourself. Just give them the time to figure it out, okay? All right, so integrity. What is integrity? Remember, after they finally read the word, you want to make sure they know what it means. So what is integrity? Integrity is living according to your beliefs about what is right. Okay, so if you are full of integrity, you do what you think is right all the time. Not just when people are watching you, but all the time. If you're full of integrity, you do the right thing all the time, even if it's hard. So integrity. All right, now how about this big word? Again, don't have your kids just look at it and say it. Make sure they are starting here and going through the word. And to make it easier for beginning readers, break it up. Remind them, find your first vowel, go one past, break it. Find your next vowel. If it's part of a trick, keep the trick together. Go one past, break it. Here's our next vowel. Go one past, break it. Here's our next vowel. Go one past, break it. Okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. You should have 5 parts when you're done. So let's see how that works. Now, the other thing is, people often don't realize just how many tricks there are in the English language. So I see 3 tricks in this word. Do you know what they are? See if you can find them. Did you find this first one right here, the G-E? That is of the G-E-G-I-G-Y trick, okay? Whenever a G is followed by an E, I, or a Y, that's when G says, do you want to jump rope with me? You see G's jump rope? Do you want to jump rope with me? And the E, I, or Y always says yes, but we have to finish our chores first. So they keep saying whatever they're saying already. They don't change, okay? We say ja for the G, but then just keep reading as usual. So this is Jen. Did you find this trick? The ER, what did they say? Do you know this chunk? Os. What about this one? It. And then here's our final trick, E. How many people are coming? Okay, so if we put that all together, we get Jen, We can put those 2 together, Jenner. And then let's put these 3 together. Os, it, E. Os, it, E. Os, it, T. Okay, so now we go back to our beginning. Jenner. Osity. Generosity. What is generosity? And if you don't hear it at first, just keep saying it till you can hear it. This is easier if you already know the English language because it kind of triggers, oh yeah, generosity, right? If you don't know English yet, it's harder because you don't know if you're saying a word or not. But what is generosity? Do you know? Generosity is the act of being generous, okay? And so if you're full of generosity, you're a very generous person. What does generous mean? That means you give more than is expected or required. You're generous. You could be generous with your time. You could be generous with your money. You could be generous, in a lot of different ways. But usually we're talking about being generous with time or money. Okay, so generosity. All right, or gifts, something you give someone. All right, so generosity. How about this one? So again, what's the most important thing? Don't let your kids guess read. Don't just look at this word and say something. You want to go part by part until you get to the end. And that's really important that you keep drilling that message home to your kids. Don't guess. Reading is all about going part by part. It's about letting the letters tell you what to say. You need to know the tricks. You need to know that Y ending. How many people are coming? But really, you just have to go from the beginning to the end, watching for tricks and making the sounds the word tells you to make. Okay, so here we go. Oz, pause, it, pause it, if, it, e. Okay, if I go straight through, let's say I'm good at hearing it, I could just go pause it, if, it, e. Positivity, right? But if that doesn't work for me or that doesn't work for your kids, remember, break it. Just do the first two. Pause it. Pause it. Then do the last bit. If, it, e. If, it, t. If, it, t. Now go back. Pause it. Pause it. If, it, t. Pause it. If, it, t. Positivity. Now, when you finally hear the word, you go, oh yeah, positivity. Now, what is that? Positivity is the act of being positive, of thinking of the good, positive things. Okay, so if you're a very positive person, you have a lot of positivity. You're talking about nice things, thinking about nice things, looking at the bright side of things. Positivity. So, again, there are different ways to read words. You can go straight through serenity, serenity. But if you aren't hearing the word or your kids aren't hearing the word, break it and read just a couple parts at a time. Seren, and then do the next parts, itty, serenity, serenity. And don't give up if it takes a while, okay? You have to learn. For some kids, this is a huge step that they have to really, work hard at because their brains have trouble hearing all those parts and remembering them and putting them back together. If you have a kid with memory and auditory processing issues and or visual processing issues, big words can be tricky, but it doesn't mean they're impossible. I always tell my kids, hard does not mean impossible, okay? So stick with it and just use the different techniques to help them get through these words. You can read two parts, then the other two parts, put them all together. You can go 1, 2, then add one more, gen, os, add another, gen, os, it, add another, gen, os, it, e. You can do the fingers, gen, os, it, I need one more, e. Whatever works for you, but try them and stick with them and do them until, right? When kids are learning to crawl, we don't just give up right away, right? When they can't crawl immediately or walk immediately, we don't just give up. We give them until. We let them keep playing on their backs until they're ready to crawl. We let them crawl until they're ready to walk. Make sure you let them struggle with these words as long as they need to until they can finally put the pieces together. Don't give up. Don't expect them to just get it right away. If they need extra time, give them extra time. Keep working on it until their brains can hear what you're doing. It's worth it because reading is all around us and it's a really important skill to have. So hope this blesses you guys. I hope I didn't talk too much for you. I hope it helps you work with your kids better, or work with yourself better. Be patient, be kind. These are, challenging words, and there's a lot involved in reading. You've got to have the memory going on. You have to have the retrieval happening, auditory processing, visual processing. It's a lot. So if your kids are struggling, give them time. And remember, hard does not mean impossible. So thanks for joining me, guys. Thumbs up if it helps, if you liked it, if you want to see more. Leave a comment. Let me know, what's helping you and what you need more of. I'd love to help you help your kids to read and write. Or if you're the one learning, I'd love to help you. So if you need tutoring, if you need a program you can do at home, look in the description. I'll leave all the links there. Thanks again for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic day.